Hey everybody, we're back with another testimony from programs. I have Benji here, Benjamin from the UK. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Benji from the UK, and today I'll be giving a testimony from my experience of the core program with High Noon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you and welcome. I asked Benji like a year ago, right? And that was too early. And then maybe again half a year ago, and it was still too early. And then, so now I, I get to have this accumulated.
Putting me on the spot here.
Yeah. So yeah, Benji did core, and we're going to hear about your core experience, right? With the core program. And
Mm.
how many times you said you did it?
So I did it three times, twice as a participant and once as a facilitator. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, what inspired you to participate in the first place?
Yeah, so the first time I did it sometime last year, and I guess during that time I was already matched and obviously going through that journey of preparing for the blessing. So yeah, I wanted to join because obviously I've been to a lot of workshops, but most of the time these workshops were like 7 days, max maybe 10 days that I've been to, and I haven't done any programs before, so I thought this would be like the closest best thing to prepare for the blessing for marriage, because a lot of the time workshops don't quite do it that much. The effects can be too lasting. I don't know if I can explain it a better way, but yeah, obviously that's my fault. But yeah, so the program I heard it was 3 months. I thought that would be like a good time frame to really, yeah, take it seriously and prepare. And who was it that suggested it to me? I think it might have been David Hewish. He's from the UK as well. And like you, he asked me to do it a few times. I was like, But yeah, eventually I accepted and I did not regret it one bit.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is you had the desire to prepare for the matching and blessing. You were already matched, right? So there was desire to prepare and doing it in I guess, in your own environment and sustainably, like long term, opposed to on a workshop, right? Where you have a focus time, 7 days,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Different periods, but kind of outside your own environment. And then you still need to like integrate that
hmm
yourself. Whereas in core, you do that from your environment. Yeah. So, okay, that's how you got into core. Yeah. What were you able to gain from core? Did it like meet your expectations or how was your experience?
I didn't really have any expectations to be honest, but whatever I wanted to get out of it, I definitely did, and more. Mainly just more honesty with myself, I think, because we would have calls every week, and we had to fill out this reflection forms, right, and on how the week was, how our calls were. So that just gave me more time to really be honest and on myself, and I don't think that's something I would normally do. So yeah, those reflections were really helpful for me to dive into myself. Obviously, the group calls were great as well. Getting to know other brothers who, are in the same kind of space and mindset on I want to be a good husband in the future. I want to be a good father. So I'd say those two things, especially the group calls. Actually, I really enjoyed the group calls because, like, I mean, I was quite lucky. I don't know if all the group calls are like that, but luckily for me, every group that I was in, everyone wanted to participate, and there was no shame in being vulnerable and yeah, just being open. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. So you had a really good experience with your group and there was no shame. So it was really open to like talk about
Mm,
different topics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially with this type of subjects, I think a lot of people, even in our community, they tend to, sometimes we can be a bit close to it or it's a bit of a taboo subject or awkward. But no, I think that was a comfortable space and everyone knew that. Yeah, it was good.
What is something that you learned, right? I mean, there might have been multiple things, right? One thing were the group calls and topics that
Mm.
came up, and then the reflections and the questions it asked. But from those things, what's something you learned perhaps about, right, preparing for marriage and the blessing while
Yeah.
you already matched, or intimacy or sexuality?
Yeah. Well, I'd say first thing that I learned was that I know absolutely nothing about these subjects. Yeah, I knew at least a little bit, but I mean, my first facilitator was Uncle Dave, so obviously he's a lot older than us, and of course he's gonna know more. But just having that experience with him and him giving us advice was like, dang, I've got a long way to go. So yeah, first thing was humbling myself that I don't know much, and secondly, I think a realization that I'm still going through as I got blessed this year, but again, I'm still at the very beginning of my journey. I think the second thing I learned was that all that I am doing it mostly for my object partner, for sometimes subject partner, but my spouse, right? And Yeah, maybe that was a concept that I didn't have before. I was maybe thinking that, yeah, I have to do all these things for myself and to become the best version of myself. But that was the limit. I wasn't looking so much beyond that horizon, like, but okay, but for what? And yeah, through the core program, I could realize more and more that it's for someone else. It's not just for your own self-improvement or whatever. Yeah, it's for your spouse and even more importantly for God, as God's child. You're going through this journey of self-improvement, sexual integrity, and perfection, this journey of perfection to become the child that He has created all of us to be.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's an amazing lesson to learn. And well, if you feel comfortable sharing about, you did receive the blessing this year, right? In April.
Yeah, April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And yeah, so do you feel that this journey, right, of preparing through core, has it contributed to the start of your relationship? And because now also you've, right, signed up for the Radiant program, I think, and that's kind of up and coming.
Yeah, I would definitely say in terms of communicating, it helped because I would consider myself quite a lone wolf. Like I'm okay just being by myself and going through my emotions myself and just whatever happens, happens. I don't need to share it with anyone. And going through the core program, I learned to accept that, no, it's okay to share and, be vulnerable sometimes if that's what you need. And yeah, I think I've still got a long way to go. And my wife will probably attest to that because, yeah, I can still have those days where I don't want to communicate. But yeah, if it wasn't for the core program, I would probably be a lot worse than I am right now. And obviously, all this in the area of sexuality as well. I learned some new golden nuggets there. Again, still learning. But yeah, all who I am today is definitely partially thanks to High Noon and the core program that I've been part of a few times.
Yeah. So communication, right? Something that you could learn about, but also practice, right? Through the group and through real, like other relationships in your marriage.
Yeah. And also, actually, another thing that they do in the core program, maybe not a lot of people know about it, but there's a group chat where we do discussion questions. And yeah, someone from the group chat will ask a question for the week. I believe it's a week. And, everyone there's answering from their point of view, and there's brothers and sisters. And that's actually another thing from the program that I really enjoy because you get to hear from the perspective of sisters too. And yeah, because I don't have any sisters actually in my family, so it was very helpful to hear from them as well, what they think, what's their perspective on things. And I must say, some of the answers from some sisters actually helped me understand my now wife. So that was pretty good.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. There's that discussion group chat, right? With discussion questions, everybody can contribute. And then once a cycle, every round of core, we have one webinar where brothers and sisters are in a group together and they get prepared prompts to ask each other to kind of hear the other gender's perspective. Were you ever part of one of those webinars?
I think only once actually, and the other times I just watched the recording. From that one time, I just remember it was good. I don't know the details, but it was the first one actually because you do a few during the program. Even from the first one, I already thought, yeah, I'm glad I signed up for this.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah, that's true for someone who doesn't have any sisters, right? And then, I mean, I'd say I have a younger sister, but I didn't have much experience with peers, right? Or like older sisters. And then learning from peers like that in a safe space can be invaluable in preparation. And for men, there can be this, well, you said you describe yourself as like a lone wolf, right? Like being fine. And I'd say probably that's not every man, but many men would like feel somewhat resonate with that idea of like, oh yeah, I'm a bit of a lone wolf, at least when it comes to emotions, or even the concept that is part of manliness for some, being a lone wolf. Then when it comes to, well, how do I create an intimate relationship with someone, especially with a woman, that vulnerability and tapping into vulnerability, being able of tapping into it is inevitable, right? And it sounds like that's something you were able to kind of hear or learn through the course of the program.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I guess, having other brothers who are also open to do that helped because if everyone was, going through that mindset that I'm a lone wolf, it probably wouldn't have been very beneficial for the guys in that group. But luckily, the people that join the core program tend to be, open to the idea of if you have to be vulnerable, that's what's gonna happen.
You can form a pack of wolves.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to share from your experience? Or either from your experience or also kind of now that you are blessed, what's kind of coming up? How are you feeling about starting the Radiant program? I can't ask you how the Radiant program itself was, right? Because it hasn't started yet, but are you looking forward to it or
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it because this might not, you might decide to cut this from the recording, but I don't know. I've only been blessed for 3 months now, and I'm already realizing that the blessing is just the very beginning. And I think a trap that a lot of second gen fall into is that you think, I'm working towards the blessing, but that shouldn't be our ceiling as second gen, as blessed families, receiving the blessing and then that's it. It's a lifelong journey, and yeah, of course, God is happy with me, with us getting blessed and, having happy marriages. But I don't know, I'm still figuring out what the deal about the blessing is. This can't be, you can't just like go to this ceremony and that means you're good for life. So I'm still figuring out myself what it means to me now that I'm in this position, because I would say in the past I had that vision that once I get the blessing, I've made it in life, but nah, not really. So I guess that's why I'm joining the Radiant program now as well, to discover that purpose, or just learn more about what a healthy heavenly marriage is about, what God intended for husband and wife to be. If anyone's out there preparing for matching and blessing, don't go take it seriously and do your best to prepare as best as possible, but don't look at it as the end all be all, or as your end goal. Like, it's just the beginning. Sorry to break it to you, there's still gonna be more things to learn about yourself, about the opposite gender. So life is a journey, and that's what I would say.
I appreciate you saying that, right? Because it's a perspective that is very common, right, for so many of us. It's like, well, I'm going to grow myself and work on myself for what? Well, until I reach the blessing. Or say, I'm going to work on my sexual integrity for how long? Well, until I reach the blessing. And then everything's until the blessing. And then we kind of enter this no man's land where we're done with growth, and then realize that, well, life goes on, and like life continues, and anything that we brought with us in terms of our mindsets, our traits, right, our character, up until the blessing just gets now mingled with another person's life and amplified. And then, especially when we invite people for a program like Radiant, which is about working on your marriage, relationship, there's lots of people who just don't have a feeling of urgency, right? People feel like, oh, yeah, this is for us, but we're not struggling right now, and so I can do it in the future. Or I was like, okay, fair enough. But then we do get the people who really want to work on it, or there is something that has shown up and people realize, oh, it's life continues and it's worth continuing to grow myself, especially now that I'm in a relationship with someone. And it can feel like that sense of urgency is missing because that finish line, right, of the blessing is gone. We're already in it, but now it's about making that as great as it can be, and how life continues, having that be part of our life.
Yep, every day is a school day. That's what I think.
Yeah, cool. Well, also a shout out to you, right? Because you've been not only participating but facilitating for CORE as well, and that's been a great help. And sounds like we'll see you
again. Thank you for
again.
giving me the opportunity. Oh yeah, absolutely. You will see me again.
Yeah, maybe everyone who's watching, you might see Benji again after his time in Radiant. See about that. Well, thank you for coming on, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you again for our next testimony.
Thank you, Andy. Take care, everybody.